From our Sun Sports studios, welcome to your fishing pregame show. Good to have you with us. This is the Chevy Florida Fishing Report. Whit Watson, Rick Murphy, Dave Farrell, and a host of special guests from Evinrude. Welcome back, Glenn Austin, Senior PR and Tournament Coordinator. On the far end, Julie Johnson, Manager of Shows, Events, and Tournaments. And a couple of Team Evinrude anglers from the SKA and FLW tours, Conrad Lau and Rick Smith.
Where's the big one? He's not happy.
Since 1991, the Southern Kingfish Association has grown from 11 events to over 50, from North Carolina all the way to Texas. And Evinrude sponsors a team of 8 saltwater anglers on this series and many others, the SKA, the FLW among them. And a couple of those guys joining us here as Shakespeare takes us off the deep end with Dave Farrell, the editor of Marlin Magazine, who will be doing nothing for the next 4 minutes. Instead, our special guests, Conrad Lau and Rick Smith from Team Evinrude. Guys, it's great to have you with us. And we're going to talk a little bit about kingfish, some tactics, some techniques. Farrell, do you have anything to add in this at all, or do you want to
I'd like to start off by where do you guys go to find them? I mean, that's the main thing. The question I'm asked usually is, you know, how do those guys figure out where to go to find those fish? Because, you know, everybody else knows they're out there, but not the big ones. Where do you guys go to find those big ones?
We just start whatever city we have a tournament at. And Florida, we're very lucky. Florida has a great amount of fishing all along the coast. And in the summer and the springtime when we get to fish here, the fish can be right on the beach in 10, 15 foot of water on out to 150, 200 feet. But it's a great place to fish.
So what typically do you look for? You look for bait? Do you look for birds? Do you go to reefs, Conrad? Do you go to structure?
It depends what time of year it is. Generally speaking, like in the summertime, which is what we're coming up on now. We just started summertime, and this time of year the fish move up out on the beach. As you mentioned earlier, there's fish in 15, 20 foot of water right now.
Okay.
Pretty much all up and down the East Coast.
So what you're telling us is basically the time of year dictates a pattern. Potentially right now, you're on the beach. Maybe in the wintertime, the fish are deeper because of the water's cooler or warmer out there versus cooler. Is that right? Tell me if I'm wrong.
That's true. And typically, with fishing, even whether it's bass fishing or king fishing or walleye, it doesn't matter. There's some kind of pattern to what the fish are doing. And the same thing when you're bait presentation, whether you're using, you know, a ribbon fish, a ribbon fish rig.
Let's take a look at the rigs here.
Here's a big. Grab a hold of that end, Rick. This thing's long enough to span us here.
It's bigger than me.
Yeah, that's for a long ribbon fish there. Or whatever ribbon fish, you know, is a dead bait. And every how long it is how many hooks you put in tandem. And this is probably a typical ribbon fish rig that we use on the East Coast. And on the in the Gulf, we would use one probably half that size longer again.
Now, is this for a dead bait or a live bait ribbon fish? A dead bait ribbon.
A dead bait on this rig.
Do you ever use a live one?
Well,
are they hard to keep alive?
They're hard to keep alive, but last year off of Fort Pierce, we caught them with our goggle eye rigs. I mean, they come up and we had them about this size and longer, and we trolled them alive.
I'm glad you answered that, because I was getting ready to ask you, where do you catch a ribbon fish? Because I've never caught one.
Watch out for their teeth.
Yeah, they're very sharp.
They're very sharp.
Conrad, you want to talk about the downrigger here?
Yeah, the downrigger is just one of our many weapons in our toolbox. Downriggers are important in kingfishing, where you can get baits and stagger your baits and have one at maybe 20 foot and another one somewhere middle of the way down through the water column. And as the day goes on, as the sun comes up, you may drop them down or raise them up, depending on where the bite's at, and that way you can get more baits in the water column.
Now, Rick, I can see you got another rig here. Tell me a little bit about what this would be for.
Well, this rig here would be typically for your blue runner or any type of live bait that is anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 inches long, and we typically try to fish the largest bait that we can catch or have previously caught and have pinned up to fish on, you know, on a tournament day or pre-fishing. But then again, you just stagger your hooks out as long as your bait is, because you'd like to have a hook, you know,
close to the
pretty
tail.
close, correct.
So you're telling me you always have a stinger hook?
Always have a. I mean, you know, when you're out there playing and we're wanting to release a lot of fish and we're just playing around, I mean, we catch a lot of fish with just a single nose hook.
Yeah.
But you know, when you tournament fishing, got a lot of money and on the line, then you want to be able to catch all the short.
Now, Conrad, I have to ask you. I'm almost afraid to touch this. This looks like a secret. Tell me about the pearl. What is the secret of the pearl?
Well, the pearl, actually I caught a 42-pound fish in Georgetown probably 2 years ago on a pearl like that, and the reason I put the pearl out was the water was kind of a milky green, and what the pearl did was gave me a good contrast with the bait. And so that when I actually moved the bait just a little bit, because part of the trick to fishing right is not actually finding the fish as much as it is triggering the bite.
Right.
A lot of times you could be around a lot of fish. I mean, we fish, you know, Rick and I fish around hundreds of boats before, and, you know, there's one fish being caught, two fish being caught, and then 2 hours later, there's, everybody's hooked up.
Right.
It's a matter of treating that feeding frenzy.
Now, let me ask you one other question, then we got to go. Red hooks versus black or stainless hooks. Do you have a preference?
I use the red hooks quite a bit. The red hooks have a tendency of triggering the bite. It's a gill flash. It's a bleeding bait technology that they use, and that's the reason behind the red hooks.
Last question for you guys, and Rick, maybe you can answer this. If you were going to give one piece of advice to a guy, a weekender going out for kingfish, what's the one most important thing you would tell him?
Patience. Just go out. Like I say, you can't catch a fish in a bathtub, but you can catch them in the Atlantic Ocean. Just come out and go as far as your boat can go, or don't overdo your boundaries. But to catch a large kingfish or any type of kingfish is fun. Is just go outside, just find some bait and wait on them. Patience is the first thing.
Over $3 million in prize money on the line at the Southern Kingfish Association Tournament Trail. The team, sponsored by Evinrude, backed by a 4-member support staff covering over 120 tournaments throughout the U.S. this year. Shakespeare once again takes us off the deep end. Dave Farrell, editor of Marlin Magazine, once again stealing money for the next 4 minutes. From Evinrude, welcome back Glenn Austin, who is the senior PR and tournament coordinator. We noticed, Rick, that beautiful new Evinrude E-Tech here over my right shoulder. That is a nice-looking motor. I know you had some questions for Glenn about it.
I certainly do. Glenn, tell me a little bit about the difference between this Evinrude and the one we had on the set the last few shows. It was a white one.
Yeah, the last few shows we had a white saltwater 115 version. This is a 225 HO. It's built for the bass boat markets and the high-performance flats boat market. It's got a high-speed gear case, and it pushes the envelope in terms of horsepower. NMMA allows manufacturers to go up to 10% above. This motor actually puts about 240 horsepower in a lightweight package.
Oh, that's good. Now, does Evinrude have anything new that's out? Like we talked at the boat show. Tell me a little bit about some of the newer stuff that you guys have.
New for 2008, we've got 40 through 75 horsepower we had only in blue last year. We've now come out with a white version, so everybody thought before the blue models weren't good for saltwater, when they always were, but now it gives everybody a choice whether you want blue or white. We've got a 115 counter rotating, we've got some commercial engines, and we've also made the HO models now in white because they used to be just blue.
Okay, one question also that comes to mind. Let's talk a little bit about the warranty that you get when you buy an Evinrude.
All our motors come with a 3-year warranty that covers everything on the motor. Through the end of June, we've offered an extended warranty that offers another 2 years for a total of 5-year warranty now.
All right.
Oh, what's the main difference? I know you hear a lot about the new E-Tech motors, the last couple of years again versus the 4-stroke. What's the difference between the two?
The big thing is there's a lot of weight difference in the two. We're a lot lighter than a lot of the 4-strokes, a lot smaller, more compact, because you don't have as many parts as the 4-strokes have.
If I may say, can we get a shot one more time? Take a look at that motor. It's just a good-looking product. And you mentioned the blue versus the white. People think of Evinrude, you think of that white, that distinctive white paint job, but that's a pretty good-looking motor right there. Do you get a lot of response to that kind of paint scheme on the E-Tech there?
Absolutely. A lot of the freshwater people, they always wanted a darker color motor. That's why we had the blue. Saltwater guys always wanted the white motors, the lighter colored, so it doesn't show the salt on the motor.
Right.
So that's why we had white. So now we try to offer the best of both worlds.
With the 4th of July coming up, that's a good Father's Day gift right there, Rick.
Very patriotic.
Yeah, it is very patriotic. Now, where would I find an E-Tech there, Glenn?
We have dealers all throughout the U.S., several here in Florida, everywhere throughout the country.
And the website, if people wanted to find a dealer online?
Evinrude.com.
That's the place to go. And if we could, Mark, let's take one more look. I want you guys to see this team photo over here from Team Evinrude with Conrad and Rick.
More than
matching the motor. That's awesome. That's good stuff right there.
Before that, though, you guys talked about hair care. Now let's talk about this, Conrad. This is my personal hair care kit, and I would love for me to pass this off to you.
I appreciate that.
Little Colgate and a little Gillette.
I just had to step up to that, won't I?
Yeah. You'll like it. It's a lot cooler. How do you guys like these motors? Tell me a little bit about it quickly.
They're awesome, as y'all were talking about. When there's $3 million on the line, you need to have dependability and reliability, because a lot of times we're fishing these tournaments, we may be 100 miles away, 2.5-hour run back, so you got to be 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back.
Well, good. Did anybody ever tell you have a good TV voice and I'd never want to see you around here again? It could cost me.
Am I taking your job?
Yeah.